Break down the big trends shaping the crypto landscape, both in India and across the world. We're now joined by Satwik Vishwanath, who's the co-founder and CEO of Unicorn Coin. Hi, Satwik. Very good afternoon. Thank you so much for joining us today. Well, let's get started by talking about Bitcoin first up. It has crashed sharply in the past few months, that is October and November especially. But for now, it's holding above that $88,000 mark. So if you could just take us through what's driving the stabilization for now. And is this the real bottom or just a pause?
I mean, that question, it's very tough to answer that. But however, if for someone familiar with the industry, they actually see this kind of volatility very frequently, at least once in a couple of years. So this year, comparatively from January to October, we have actually seen a tremendous gain in the popularity and also it was kind of bull run. So now there is some correction available, and this correction was actually anticipated as well to a great extent. And while in the last bull cycles we have seen the November and December to be a better month, but it doesn't look like it'll be this time. But however, yeah, it will continue to get unstable for now if rate continue to increase in I mean if it is completely one-sided, right? So now we are looking at some corrections, but like always, it looks like for Bitcoin it's temporary.
All right, understood. But at Unicoin, what is your assessment? Where do you see Bitcoin headed? How is it going to end 2025? Could we see another leg of upside surprise by any chance?
Even if you see an upside, I don't know whether we will still hit the all-time high, which is around $125,000. But we may see some upside because we actually saw the bottom to be about $81,000, and now it is already at 88. So that number, settling around 95 or something, I would not be surprised. But however, it's very unlikely we will see a completely all-time high again within just next 5 weeks of the year.
So another lifetime high unlikely for Bitcoin as far as 2025 is concerned. But
Yeah.
Satwik, how much of the recent volatility that we have seen is tied to global macro factors like the US rate cut expectations and tech stock movements that we've been seeing?
I think it is definitely tied. So we also see very similar moment in a lot of other equity markets also. So and it is the same money that has rotated. And given that now we have ETFs and there are companies which are holding the crypto like Bitcoin as treasury, so it actually is getting connected than how it was comparatively independent before. So it will go hand in hand to some extent for now. Yeah.
Understood. So global factors definitely weighing on crypto. But, globally, let's also talk about institutional investment in crypto. Globally, Bitcoin and Ethereum, they've seen ETFs have gained traction, especially in 2025, right? However, now we are seeing a reversal. So is this institutional money stabilizing the market in any way or adding to more volatility, actually?
See, initially it helped with the bull run, but right now I think it's adding to the more volatility. That's what it looks like, right? So, because the conviction that normally people would have while holding Bitcoin, I mean physically, as in like within their own custody, is very different than the conviction of someone who is trying to hold its ETF or a equity in such a treasury company. So for them, it's more about, okay, if it is not this, then what next? And they only calculate the percentages and such. And a lot of times it's the gain that they see in the midterm and short term also. But as compared to someone who has conviction towards this particular technology being comparatively, playing out to be a better part of the future of the digital economy across the world. So I would say it is adding up to volatility for now.
So that's about the global factors. But now let's shift focus back to India, right? So what kind of demand trends are you tracking back home amid, little clarity on regulations for now? Any key geographies where you're seeing more demand?
In India, we actually don't see such kind of difference all of a sudden, given the taxation rules and GST and what we think of, like pretty much everything is very similar. So right now, there are some who are exiting the positions given the volatility which see the ones who are especially in need of the money where they would have planned for exiting at a particular price, and if the rate continues to drop, it will become like more challenging for them. So we see that particular sector of people exiting, but we also are seeing a new sector which actually when it went up to 100 120 and all, there'll be a lot of people who would have felt I would have bought it at a lower price, and for them this is actually a good chance. So we see both buyers and sellers, but if you see in terms of the quantum, it's definitely less than how it used to be in the completely bull market like a few months ago.
Got it. And talking about regulations, there's a 30% tax and a 1% TDS that is widely considered restrictive, right? So how badly are these restrictions hurting the Indian trading volumes? Is there any chance of relief?
Definitely, it is hurting, but it has been that way since 3 years already. So it's not something new all of a sudden right now. So the relief will definitely help, but I don't know to what extent the government would consider this to be serious. Given the issue itself is the 1% TDS, it kind of consumes good amount of capital for people who want to trade frequently, and someone who is trying to make a market, etc. as well. So that has actually faced a challenge, and because of that challenge, the volumes are low, and because the volumes are low, the government is a little negligent because it's not big yet. So it is kind of little circular loop right now we're stuck in.
And speaking of the government, they are pushing for digital rupee, right? So do you see CBDC adoption threatening private crypto growth?
It will be to some extent. I think it live together. I think so because the CBDC will never get considered as an asset as compared to the VDA, which is virtual digital asset for crypto like Bitcoin and Ether, etc. So there will be some overlap. Whoever want to use it for completely digitization and such, but right now we don't see too many people using crypto for digital within India anyway. So extremely small overlap, but there is some. Yeah.
Got it. And if we talk about the long-term themes beyond Bitcoin and Ethereum, which themes look strongest for the next cycle? Will it be RWAs, meme coins, gaming, or AI crypto for that matter?
It's tough. I mean, me personally, I'm bullish on AI on one side, but if I see the growth in which these kinds of blockchains are growing, I'm bullish on Solana as well. So yeah, again, it's like totally personal opinion, not financial advice. Yeah.
Okay, so that's about some of the other asset classes. Thank you, Satwik, for joining us today and taking us through the entire breakup of what's happening
Sure.
in terms of big trends across the globe. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, with that, it's time now to slip into a very short break. We'll be right back with more on the other side.